Yo 17 and 0. What is up? RX back with another breakdown of UFC 279 Chimaev versus Diaz. What the fuck is happening in this fight? I don't fucking know. No one does. Fuck, this card's gonna be insane. If it even happens, with all the shit that's already happened this week, I'm shocked the card's not been fucking cancelled yet. But, yeah, crazy main event. And, speaking of crazy, let's do a quick recap of UFC Paris from last week, which was a very, very fun card. Ready? Let's go. First fight, Edgar versus Perez. Perez would have won if she didn't do wrestling. She was clearly the better striker and probably could have finished Edgar. Quinones versus Taha. Nothing more to say. A little early of a stoppage, but either way, I think Taha was done. Saint Denis versus Miranda. Great fight, and Benoit's a beast. Ziam versus Figlak. Figlak fucking sucks. Hak Paras versus Makdessi. Pretty much what I expected. Abus versus Stoltzfus. This Abus guy is fucking good. Wood versus Jourdain. What happened to Charles Jourdain, man? He must have had really bad fucking flight lag or whatever, because he fought terrible. Gomez versus Urins. I barely remember this fight. Kopylov versus Dichirko. Shit fighter versus shit fighter, and shit fighter won. Imavov versus Buckley. Pretty predictable. Whitaker versus Vittori. Pretty predictable. Gane versus Tuivasa. Holy shit, that round 2 is one of the rounds of the fucking year. Tai Tuivasa is not human. So Gane is really good. And, great main event. Overall, I think last week's card was subpar. Very little great. Really, that main event saved it for me in a pretty dog shit card. Because without Tai not being human, that card would have been a flop. But we're not talking about UFC Pass anymore. That was last week. This is the now week. And we're talking about UFC 279. So, after that quick recap, which I do before these videos, let's get into the breakdown. Before I do that, please like, comment, sub, all that shit. 100 subs go by the end of the year. So this video on in the background while you play something, because there's nothing to look at besides the black screen. And as always, let's talk about some fights. That might be my best intro ever, because I ran through that. Damn, I'm getting good at this. No, I'm not. First of 13 fights on this weird card, we got Darian Weeks versus Johan White Lion Lancey. I don't know. Let's talk about Darian Weeks. Well, for some reason he is still in the UFC. I don't know why. And he is 0-2 in the UFC. His first 2 fights were against Brian Barberino and Ian Gary. He lost both. The Barberino fight, he looked okay, but he of course lost. Tough fight for a short notice debut. And then against Ian Gary, he looked okay again and lost. So he's the king of looking okay but still losing. Like, he's not that good of a fighter. He's really open to getting hit, especially with calf kicks. And overall, he's just not really that good. This is a must-win for him. A super fucking downgrade from Ian Gary and Brian Barberino. And must-win, man. This is win or you lose. You're not going to go 0-3 in the UFC, not put up good performances, and stay. So this is a must-fucking win. To talk about Johan, He is 0-1 in the UFC, if I'm correct. Yes. Coming off a bad loss to Gabe Green. Before that, he of course won a Contender Series, got the contract, and then of course the Gabe Green fight. He was winning that fight until he gassed badly. He gassed really bad in that fight and got finished in the second. He's pretty well-rounded, good striking, and all that. But again, that gas tank fucked him in that fight because he would have won. And he must have been so fucking annoyed with himself after that fight. Can't blame him. I would be pissed too. I think he's good. He has potential, but again, if he can't fix that gas tank, he could be as well balanced as he wants. Doesn't matter. And by the way, this fight is only happening because both these guys had cancellations for their fights, and they put them both in there. Darian was supposed to fight Cedric Doumbé, I believe, last week in Paris, and Johan was meant to fight Miguel Baeza on this card, and obviously both their opponents fell through. Darian stepped in, and now he's here. So I think, interesting side note, Johan and Baeza would have been intriguing, but you know, we got Darian now, and I think this is a way more winnable fight for fucking Johan. Darian, the betting odds are fucking terrible for this fight. Darian Weeks -135 to +110. No. Just simply fucking no. Johan should be -120 to +110. Slight favorite, but a favorite. He's shown more in one fight than Darian has shown in two. Darian is not that good. I don't know why he's still in the UFC, and he's not gonna win this fight. Not sorry. With that being said, I am going Johan Lancey. I think he will just do what he has to do, fight a smarter fight and not gas as bad. So I'm going Johan Lancey by decision. I think he should pick up the win here. And I don't think I don't know why he's the underdog or how he is the fucking underdog, because I think he's clearly the better fighter. So we'll see. But yeah, I'm going Johan by decision. Let's hope that gas tank holds up. After that, we got another intriguing fight, and another fight that had someone step in. Not because cancellations, well, one, but the other person was just stepping in. And next up, we have Elise Reed versus Melissa Super Melly Martinez. This was supposed to be Martinez versus Hannah Cifers. Cifers pulled out, Reed stepped in. Quick side note there. God, how the fuck did Hannah Cifers get a fight booked in 2022? World may never know. Let's talk about Elise Reed. In the UFC, she is 1-2. In her debut, she got completely fucked up by Sajara Dudebanks, who almost killed her. Then she bounced back earlier this year with a nice upset win against Corey McKenna, where she weirdly looked really good in that fight. And then her last fight against Sam Hughes, she looked fucking terrible. Not gonna waste a lot of time on this fight, let alone Elise Reed. Elise Reed ain't good. Next. She's fucking terrible. To talk about Melissa, I've never seen her fight, but from watching the breakdown, I've heard she's really good. Only 27 years old. Yeah, she's been out of fighting since 2019, but I think it's either ring rust or it's smart, because yeah, you know, I've been taking punishment. Hannah Cyphers Elise Reed has been taking punishment over the last couple years, so yeah, that could play a factor. One of those two, either ring rust or not fighting, will hurt or help Melissa. We'll see. But from what I've heard, she's really good on the feet. Good power. Likes to go for the kill, which you don't see often in female fighters. And yeah, it's 7-0. Excited to see her debut. And you obviously were trying to give her easy matches when you were giving her Elise Reed and fucking Hannah Cyphers. Like, they literally booked her against Hannah Cyphers. They're trying to get her a win. That's like booking me with fucking James Vick. I'm gonna win. The betting odds have Melissa Martinez minus 165 to plus 135. I'd probably have her a bigger favorite. I'd probably have her minus 180. I think she should win. If she has any MMA talent at all, she should win this easily. Hannah Cyphers is garbage. And yeah, Cyphers should win. So with that being said, I am going... Why did I keep saying Cyphers? Reed should lose. Martinez should win. Why the fuck? Get me off this fight. I'm going Melissa Martinez by decision. She should win. After that, we got a very interesting fight, I guess you could say, in the bantamweight division. Not a good one, but an interesting one. Chad the Monster Angler versus Holly the Mongolian Knight Alatang Holly, whatever. Let's talk about Chad Angler, whatever. Chad in the UFC is 1-0, coming off Contender Series. He got the contract and got in his debut. He fought Jesse Strader in a fight he actually was looking very bad in. He kind of lucky he got the finish, but overall it was a very bad performance by him. He probably should have looked better against someone like Jesse Strader. Well, we all have bad nights. We all have bad nights. Overall, he's lucky for the finish, is what I can say. All I can and will say. Yeah, he's not very good, to be honest. He's really not great at anything. Like, he can strike a little, he can wrestle a little, but he's not really great at any of it, so... You know, he's just not a good fighter. For Alatang, on the other hand, he's getting better since he's switching camps. He's always had really good power in his hands, and now he's being able to use it in a good way. In the UFC, he is 3-1-1. His wins by Dana, aged pretty well, Ryan Benoit, and Kevin Kroom. His loss, Casey Kenny, and he had a draw with Gustavo Lopez. The Dana win has aged great. Benoit is a good veteran. Kevin Kroom, he ran through. Casey Kenny, yeah, not mad at it. I understand why he lost. Kenny's a decent fighter. And in Gustavo, he really was winning that fight, but he got a point taken away because he kept grabbing the cage like a dumbass. So really he should be 4-1 in the UFC, but he's only 3-1-1. He's pretty good. He he was already looking good before switching camps. Now he has switched camps to a better camp. I think he's at fight ready now, so now he's able to put what talent he had before to good use. He's always, and again, for the weight class, for bantamweight, he has really good power. So, the betting odds for this fight have Alatang minus 165 plus 140. Yeah, I guess. I don't think it's terrible picks. I don't think it's bad. I understand it. I see it. I don't. I agree with it. I do think Aotang's gonna win this fight. I think he's just the better fighter. Chad's not very good. He's 35 years old, and he was not looking good against Jesse Strader. Do I need to say anything else? I'm going Aotang by decision. I think he'll do what he has to do to win. Fight smart. Pick up another W. Yeah. And now to end the featured prelims, we have a fight that I don't even know what to say about it. It's so weird. It's so fucking odd. We have, oh boy, Norma the Immortal Dumont versus Diane Wolf. Danielle Wolf. Sorry, my bad. Let's talk about Norma Dumont. Where do we begin? She main evented a fucking card. Never forget that shit. In the UFC, Norma is 3-2. Her wins: Ashley Evans Smith, Felicia Spencer, and Aspen Ladd. Her losses: Megan Anderson and Macy Chiasson. She's really looked unimpressive in her wins. I don't remember the Evans Smith fight. I barely remember the Spencer fight or the Ladd fight. So we had to watch Norma Dumont fight Aspen Ladd for 5 fucking rounds. Never fucking forget that shit. That might be the shittiest main event in MMA history. Oh fuck, that's funny, man. That's fucking funny. Yeah, that's funny. Yeah, Dumont really in her wins, all I remember her wrestling and some weak striking. And her losses, you got the Megan Anderson knockout where she got fucking flatlined. Very bad look for her to lose to someone who, as much as I like Megan, she's not very good. So to get flatlined by her ain't a good look in your debut. And then in her last fight against Macy Chiasson, she looked terrible the first 2 rounds, and then in the 3rd round she actually started trying, but by that point Chiasson just could hold on to her and win, and that's what she did. She almost got the finish on Macy, but did not. So Dumont's not a bad fighter, just she's not very good. Like, when she does win, it's pretty clear. Like the Ladd fight, it was clear she won. Same thing with the Evan Smith fight. The Spencer fight was close. A lot of people say that was a bad decision. No. Long story short, no. Yeah, like, Dumont's biggest problem is not even fighting right. This bitch cannot make weight to save her fucking life. She will not make fucking weight consistently. What did she last weigh in at? 146.5. This fight's at 145. She's missed weight at 145. What the fuck? Make weight. It's not hard. Yeah, long story short, Dumont's not very good, but she's good enough to win a fight. You know what I mean? Now talk about Danielle Wolf. This is her UFC debut, not counting Contender Series, which she is coming off Contender Series 2 years ago. I think close to over 2 years ago since she won a controversial contract. A lot of people say she shouldn't have got signed, and I think a lot of people are fucking right, because she is 39 years old, got signed to a dead division, and has not fought in 2 fucking years, and we still got a day till the fight happens, so who knows if she actually fucking fights. Knock on wood, let's hope she does make it to the fight, of course. But yeah, she was booked against Felicia Spencer earlier, middle of last year. Obviously that fight fell through. That would be such a terrible matchup for Wolf. But yeah, the main reason I guess she's in UFC, she is a pro boxer. Her record is 27-14. Not bad, not great, not bad. I mean, you got a shit ton of experience, and apparently a lot of people did not want to fight her because of her pro boxing background. Do people know this is MMA? Like, I know Wolf is built like a fucking giant, but come on, just take her down, man. And wink. Take her down. This is a pretty simple fight to predict. It's not who's gonna win, it's more how is Dumont gonna win. Dumont's ways of winning are either a grind out decision or she submits her. If she tries to strike with Wolf, she probably will get knocked out. And the betting odds kind of agree. Norma Dumont is minus 325 to plus 260. As much as I think it's insane to ever say Norma Dumont's a minus 300 plus on favorite, I kind of find it hard to disagree. We've seen legitimately nothing from Wolf besides one bad Dana White Contender Series performance. And if she looks that bad in this fight, she's definitely fucking losing. So, with that being said, I am going to go Norma Dumont here. This first time I'm picking her not out of meme, I actually think she will win. And she should win. This is not like a close fight at all. Really, she should fucking win this fight. I really don't see how she fucks this up. So, with that being said, I am gonna go Norma Dumont by submission in the second. I think she'll grind out Wolf in the first round, make her gas, make all the fucking muscles because she's really big. Make her gas out and then take her back or maybe an arm or something in the second round and get a submission. I'm going Norma Dumont by submission in the second. So that's the early prelims. Not much. Like, the Dumont fight's really the only thing that could have intrigue. The other three fights, pretty shit. But now we move on to the prelims, which are fine. A couple interesting fights. And we start off with a really interesting fight at heavyweight, as we got Jake the prototype Collier versus Chris Beast Boy Barnett. We'll talk about Jake Collier. In the UFC, he's started to find his stride, it seems. But he is in his heavy in the UFC. He is, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 5. Not great, but he's won 2 fights in a row. You know, doesn't say that on paper. He really has. Beat Chase Sherman, and then, let's be honest, he beat Andre Arlovski. Let's not lie to ourselves. He beat Arlovski in that fight. I love Arlovski. He's a fucking legend, but he lost that fucking fight to Collier. So 2 wins in a row, one against a legend. Maybe Collier's fucking starting to get confidence in himself. If he gets you to the ground, you're kind of fucked because he's like a fridge on top of you. But if striking wise, he kind of just moves forward, a lot of pressure. Not really the best striker, but he can strike. And he would be a perfect heavyweight 10-15 years ago. Big, and not very talented. Now talk about Beast Boy Chris Barnett, who we all love. We all know Beast Boy. He's more of a meme more than anything. He's really not that good. In the UFC, he is 1-2. In his debut on short notice, he got completely dominated by Ben Rothwell. Then he came back and landed an amazing spinning heel kick to John Vellante in New York. And then in his last fight, got completely demolished by Martin Buday. Seems like a pattern. He sucks versus really tall guys. Shocker when he's 5'9" fighting at heavyweight. Huh. Interesting. Yeah, long story short, he's really not good. He's more of just a meme, and if he does not land a lucky kick and the fight goes deep, you're gonna win against Chris Barnett. He has really no gas tank outside of 3 minutes, and yeah, that's the long and short of it, to be honest. He really just has no gas tank. Do I need to say anything else? He's a cool dude, fun meme. He's not good. So, long story short of this fight, if Barnett does not get the knockout early, he's gonna lose. And, yeah, I think he's gonna lose. The betting odds think he's gonna lose. Jake Collier minus 350 to plus 285. I don't really agree. I would move Collier down to maybe a 210. He should be a favorite, but you know, at heavyweight, that chance, anything can happen. I don't think I would put Jake Collier at minus 350. That's just me. With that being said, for the meme, I'm gonna pick Chris Barnett just because I gotta pick Chris Barnett. I've picked him in his first 3 UFC fights. Why stop now? Who doesn't love Chris Barnett? And let's get a Beast Boy a second UFC win. Do I think he'd actually get it? Not a chance. But yeah, I'm going Chris Barnett by knockout in the first. Hope he gets it. It would be fucking cool. Let's hope. Barnett knockout in the second. First, fuck. Next fight on the card. Not gonna talk much about this. I don't care. Jamie the Nightwolf Pickett versus Dennis Tululian. I'm not gonna waste much time. Pickett should really win this easy. Dennis has really had an awful debut, and I doubt, and he's not really that good to begin with. Pickett, who I really don't like trusting, he is very 50-50 in his fighting abilities, but I think this is going to be one where he looks on the good side of 50, and I think he should win this pretty easily. So I'm going Jamie Pickett by decision. Not much to say, don't want to say anymore. Next up, this fight's worrying because this could be a murder. Next up, and another fight that got fucked up due to withdrawals, to people dropping off the fight. We got Jalton Malhadino Almeida versus Anton the Pleasure Man. Yes, he's a fighter. Turkalaj. This was supposed to be Almeida versus Shamil, but Shamil pulled out and Turkov stepped in. Let's talk about Jalton Almeida. What could you really say about Almeida besides the dude's fucking great? He's gonna be a top contender one day. He got a contract off Contender Series, and then in his first 2 UFC fights, 2 first-round finishes against Danilo Marquez and Parker Porter. Kid's a fucking beast. There's not much more you can say. Dude's a fucking beast. He's a very tall. He's very small for heavyweight. He really could easily fight at light heavyweight, which would be better for him. But I guess he wants to fight at heavyweight. So I guess that makes sense. Yeah, not much to say about a dude who is great. He's really fucking good. And now to talk about Anton. Really, I've only seen him fight once on Contender Series. All he did was wrestle a dude for 15 minutes, so not really much to go off of. He didn't get the contract, but you know, when you're called upon, you answer, and he answered. He probably didn't think it through. If he did, he probably would not be taking this fucking fight, but you know. Yeah, he's fucking dead. this poor dude's gonna get fucking annihilated. So, not gonna talk much more. Almeida's gonna win this fight. And I think he's gonna win this fight by knockout submission. What does he want to win this fight by? I'm gonna say Jailton Almeida by... I'm feeling a submission, I don't know why. Yeah, I'm feeling a submission. Yeah, submission. So, I'm going Jailton Almeida. Lock of the night, cause I'm not gonna make it Hamza, cause that's just too easy. Almeida, submission in the first. It could be a knockout though, but I think it's gonna be a decision. A submission. So, Almeida, submission. And then the featured prelim, a fight that's very fucking good, and I'm very hyped to see, even though it's kinda one-sided if you think about it. Hakeem the Mean Dawodu versus Julian Juicy J Erosa. Great fight at 145. Two vets of the division going at it. Let's talk about Mean Hakeem. In the UFC, Hakeem Dawodu is 6-2. His wins, not really anyone special. His best win, Julio Arce, I guess. And his losses are to Danny Henry and Mansour Evloev, who he gave a fight, by the way. We're shocking, crazy enough. He gave Evloev a fucking fight. Hakeem, very powerful, very good. He does kind of look off at times, and that's kind of why he has lost. But when he's on his game, he's on his fucking game, man. He's very good. He's a borderline. If there's a top 20 into a top 15 at 145, he would easily be in it. He's really fucking good, and this kind of a weird fight for him. Let's talk about Juicy J. Not gonna talk much about Juicy J, because I think we know Erosa by now. He's a brawler. He doesn't give a fuck. He throws caution to the wind, and he wants to fight. In his last fight, he had, in my opinion, the fight of the year so far with Steven Peterson. Amazing fight. He showed a lot of heart, and he showed maybe his chin is not just paper. He also has wins over Charles Jourdain, Nate Landwehr, Sean Woodson. So he has good wins. He's been winning. His loss was to Doo-Ho Choi. Choi is almost a fucking lightweight, really. So, not really mad at that. This is a really good fight. Really, Erosa's way of winning this is hoping Dawodu fights really off, and Dawodu's way of winning this is just be the better fighter that he is. The betting odds have Hakeem Dawodu minus 225 to plus 190. I'd agree. I think he should fucking win this pretty easily, and I'm going Mean Hakeem by decision. I like Juicy J. I would like to see Juicy J get a nice one here, but I don't see it happening, sadly. So Hakeem Dawodu by decision. God, I really don't want to be making this fucking video right now. Those are the prelims done. We got 5 more fights on a very weird main card. And we start off with, and by the way, I'm not really going to be going in as much detailed depth of these fighters, so you know them by now. We got, to open up the main card, Johnny Walker versus Ion the Hulk Kutilaba. Let's start with Johnny. What could you say about him? He was the shit at 205 until he turned into shit. Corey Anderson beat him. Krylovian. He got a nice one against Ryan Spann, but realistically, he was losing that fight. He fought scared versus Santos. Hill knocked him out. Please, someone get this man away from Kavanaugh, because Kavanaugh's a dumb fucking coach who does not know what the fuck he's doing. He's a terrible fucking coach. He ruined Johnny Walker. Walker has potential to be a good fighter, just he fights so weird. Not even like a good weird. He just fights fucking odd. And it's weird, man. Weird. Kid was the shit. Until he wasn't. And now to talk about Ion Cutelaba. I think a lot of us know Ion Cutelaba by now. The king of the first round. If UFC fights for one round only, he'd be the undefeated champion of the world. Probably a 3-division champion. When he has gas in the tank, he is pretty dangerous. But the second that gas runs out, he's pretty much just prey for the taking. And man, do people take it? Ryan Spann, Magomed Ankalaev, Dustin Jacoby, etc. So, long story short, Cutelaba, if he doesn't win the first round, ain't gonna win. He had one good fight against Devin Clark where he showed better gas tank, but until I see it more than once against another okay fighter, I'm not gonna really believe he has a gas tank. Long story short, this fight comes down to, does Cutelaba knock Walker out in the first? If he doesn't, then Walker should easily cruise to a decision. I could easily see 29-28 Walker across the board. And the betting odds, I don't think I'm wrong, but I don't think I'm right. They have Ion Cutelaba minus 185 to plus 155. I disagree. I would have the odds 115 apiece. You just don't know with this fight. Two of the most untrustworthy fighters in the UFC, let alone at 205. I don't like picking either of these two. I don't enjoy picking either of these two because I don't trust either of these two. But who am I picking in this fight? As much as I hate to, and I think he's in real danger, I'm going with Johnny Walker. I hate picking him. I don't think he's very untrustworthy, but I think he can win. I think this is a very, very winnable fight for him. If he can just survive that first round, he can cruise to a 29-28, I feel. So I think he's gonna do that, and I'm going Johnny Walker by decision. Am I gonna look stupid in hindsight? Knowing me, yeah. But do I care? No. So I'm going Johnny Walker, not the whiskey, by decision. Next up, we got the females at 135. Irene Aldana versus Macy Chiasson. Let's first talk about Irene Aldana. Irene, a great boxer with a lot of power, put her name on the map with a knockout of Ketlin Vieira about 3 years ago, going up on that. She had a setback against Holly Holm after that, but then in her last fight, she ran through Yana Kunitskaya. She's very good. Her ground game probably is her weakest part, but even then, it's not bad. I will just throw the Holly fight up to Holly being really good, weirdly. And, yeah, man, I think Irene's I feel like no one, like, Irene's, like, kind of the Leon Edwards part. She's kind of like the Leon Edwards of woman family. No one looks at her. Like, everyone's looking at Nunez, Pena, Holm, Tate, even. But no one really looks at Irene, who is, I think, one of the best female fighters in that division I think she would give Pena big problems. I think Holly's just really good, not gonna lie. I think she would give Nunez problems. I think Nunez would have to rely on wrestling to beat her, if she could. I think Irene is very underrated, and especially I think she's one of the most powerful fighters in that division, if not all women's MMA. So I think Irene is very good. She's getting up there in age, 34 years old, but gloves to Shara. Do I need to say anything else? Thank you. Now to talk about MGK, Macy Chasson. She's not very good. She's been in the UFC a while, coming off a tough. I think did she win tough against Penny Kianzad? I know that's who she fought in the finals. She did win tough. So she did win tough. She really has beat her. She really has no good wins. Penny Kianzad being her best win. Besides that, Gina Mazzani, Shanna Young, Marianne Renault, Norma Dumont in a fight she really would have lost if she didn't just hug her. Her losses to Lena Landsberg and Raquel Pennington, fighters who are actually wise veterans who are very good. So no shocker there. Long story short, Chazon's really only that good because she's very tall. She's almost 6 feet tall, and for some reason she's fighting at bantamweight when she's easily a 45er. She's not very good. She does nothing as good as Irene, or even close. Striking, Irene. Power, Irene. Wrestling, I'd probably give it to Irene. So, yeah, I think this might be a very bad fight for Chazon. So, with that being said, I am going to go the minus 200 favorite, which I do agree with. Irene Aldana. I think she will get the win here, and I think she'll hopefully stop people from sleeping on her. I think she's very underrated. So I'm going to go Irene Aldana by, and this might surprise you, knockout in the first. I think she's sending Macy Chasson to the Shadow Realm Saturday night. Irene Aldana by knockout in the first. Boom. Lock it up. Next up, after that, we have the most competitive fight of the main card, and maybe the best fight. Kevin the Trailblazer Holland versus Daniel D-Rod Rodriguez. Not gonna go in depth on these guys, because you know him. Kevin Holland, big mouth, the real life superhero. The dude's, ever since he moved back down to 170, yeah, he's got very easy matchups, but still, wins are wins. He was on a tear at 185 for a while until he wasn't. He has a lot of talent. He's very lengthy, great striking, great power for how skinny he is. He's very good. He's not just all talk. He actually backs it up very often. And now he's trying to make it 3 in a row at 170 with a win against one of the most underrated fighters in the division. And of course, that being the way lesser known fighter in this fight, Daniel Rodriguez. Been to UFC a long time, very ups and downs, very few downs. There still have been downs. He did lose to Nicholas Dalby, but besides that, he's been flawless in the UFC. Tim Means, Gabe Green, Dwight Grant, Mike Perry, Kevin Lee. He's been pretty good, and he's looked good in most of those wins. He's one of the most underrated guys in the division, like I said. He really should be ranked, and I think he's very good. Happy he's finally getting spotlight in this division. And fun fact, I've picked him in every one of his fights. Does that streak continue? The betting odds, everyone has been saying this for the past couple weeks. They're wrong. Kevin Holland is minus 250 to plus 180. I disagree. Like most people, Kevin Holland should be minus 150 to plus 1 for 135, 140. Holland should be the favorite, but he should not be in the twos. This is a very competitive fight that could go really any way. So I really don't think it's a toss. I really don't think it's a clear-cut fight for Kevin Holland. I think he will win, but I don't think it's gonna be clear. So I am gonna go Kevin Holland by decision. I think he gets a nice win here. Nice, like I said, I could see D-Rod winning. Would not be shocked if he did. Speaking of shocked if they somehow won, the co-main event of the evening, a fight that I guarantee you no one a month ago would have told you would ever happen, let alone at this card. Of course I'm talking about, fucking hell, the Li Jing Liang, the Leech, versus Tony El Kukui Ferguson. I don't know what the fuck to think about this fight. Tony's moving up, and they're trying to get him fucking killed. Not gonna waste much time on this fight. Leech should win. Tony's coming off the worst knockout of his career. Only 3 months ago. Where the fuck's a medical suspension? And really he has no chance of winning this. He's 38. He's taken so much damage, and he's done. Let's be honest. This is his last fight. If he loses, this is his last fight. If he somehow wins, I hope this is his last fight, because he's done. Like, as much as I want to see Tony Ferguson fight and not retire, as much as it would hurt me to see him retire on Saturday, he just has to. If he loses, he's not the guy anymore. The sport won't be the same without El Kukui, but the sport is better without seeing El Kukui get beat up. So, long story short, the Leech really should win this. The betting odds have him minus 265. Really, he should be 300, if not higher. I really don't see Tony winning this fight at all. Leech is looking better than he ever has against Muslim Salikov, and this is a terrible matchmaking for Tony. So sadly, I do think the Leech is gonna win, but out of bias, I am gonna pick Tony. Put him in my picks just because I cannot not pick Tony, because it's Tony, man. I really love El Kukui, but he's not gonna win. So I am gonna go Tony Ferguson by decision. Do I actually think he's gonna win? Not a chance in hell. I think he's gonna get knocked out, but yeah, I gotta pick him. So I'm going El Kukui by decision. And now, the what the fuck main event of the decade. They actually booked this fight and it's allowed to go on. A lot to talk about in this fight, not even involving the fight. And of course I'm talking about Khamzat Boris Chimaev versus Nate Diaz. Where do we begin? What the fuck happened at the press conference today? Second of all, why the fuck is this fight allowed to happen? Nate's gonna fucking die. I'm just gonna cut right to the good part. Nate's losing this fight. He has no fucking chance of winning. At his media day, he looked like the most defeated fighter I've ever seen. Shape-wise, he looks the worst I've ever seen him. You can tell, like, we make a joke, oh, he just got off the couch, or whatever. Nate legitly just got off the fucking couch for this fight. He looked fucking terrible. And now he's going in there with within the next year, probably the best welterweight in the world, Khamzat Chimaev. What the fuck are you doing, Dana? The betting odds are fucking absurd. This is the first time I've seen a male fighter at this odd. You usually see Valentina or Amanda Nunes at this odd. Usually, I can't think of the last male fighter to be in this number. And of course, that is minus 1200, 1200, whatever. Hamza should be minus 5000. I'm not even gonna lie, he really has no way of losing this. Unless he does something incredibly fucking stupid, he's not going to lose this fight. With that being said, I am going to go Khamzat Chimaev, of course. I was thinking about picking Nate for the silly joke, but with how he's showing up this fight week, how he just does not give a shit, I can't pick him. Depending on what happens tomorrow at the weigh-ins, if he looks better, acts better, then maybe, but right now I have to go Boers. Even if I did pick Nate, I don't think he's going to win, of course. So, I'm going to go Khamzat Chimaev I think he's going to finish Nate, either a submission or a TKO. I think I can already see it now, him on top of Nate in full guard, ground and pound. I don't know what round. I'm leaning more towards the round 2 to 3. So as right now, I'll say Khamzat Chimaev TKO round 2/3. We'll see. But yeah, he's gonna win. To go over my picks one more quick time before I wrap this video up: Johan Lassie by decision, Melissa Martinez by decision, Ala Tang by decision, Norma Dumont by submission in the second, Chris Barnett by knockout in the first, Jamie Pickett by decision, Jolton Almeida by submission in the first, lock of the night, Hakeem Dawodu by decision, Johnny Walker by decision, Irani Aldana by knockout in the first, Kevin Holland by decision, Tony Ferguson by decision, and Khamzat Chimaev by TKO in the third, we'll say. So, with that being said, I'm very sorry for a bad breakdown. I don't feel great right now. I'm tired, don't feel great, etc. So, it's a fine card. I'm excited for it. I hope you are. It should deliver in some way. And, yeah. You'll hear from me again next week for a short recap of this card and a breakdown of UFC Fight Night Sandhagen versus Yadong. Great main event. The rest of the card has a lot to be desired, but you know, beggars ain't choosers. With that being said, did I forget anything? No. Like, comment, sub. 100 subs go by the end of the year. And as always, RX out. It's Tony Tom, bitches.